Welcome to the District D team. Here we are in the front entryway, and we're looking at what we call the Life Enrichment banner. And it's a standalone sign that showcases the list of classes we offer. The Life Enrichment classes are hosted in 10-week sessions. So every 10 weeks we have to change these signs out. You can see a Sunday, a Monday, and a Tuesday. Now in order to do that, we first of all need the new signs, which you see here on the table. And after confirming that the signs are accurate with both date and time and info, we're ready to proceed. Just below you'll see that roll of blue tape. Do not use masking tape or Scotch tape. Blue tape is the only thing that will work for this application. So now we're going to move here to the sign, and we're going to get started showing you how to get this put together. I'm going to put my signs over here. Now the first thing I'm going to do is peel back the lens. So the way this works is there are two layers here, and those layers tuck inside this little molding here, really nice and clean. So you just want to pull this front cover out. Now you don't want to pull the banner out, you want that to stay, and so it doesn't take much to pull this out. And oftentimes what I will do is just simply put it on the ground. Now I put it on the ground with the side facing up that will go back towards the banner. Now sometimes this thing may fall. You can see that if it comes off, it's not a crisis. In fact, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to just reestablish the tack points on this banner since we're making this tutorial. This is not something that you would normally do every time, but now and again you just want a few pieces of fresh tape so that we can make sure that that paper banner doesn't come off every time you take the plastic lens off, as it can be a little tricky if you're by yourself to get all this put together. However, that said, this is definitely something that one person can do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the paper. I want you to see my foot down here in the bottom. Kind of a little tip is I'll press this forward and I'll use it to slide the edge of that paper in the track. You can see that? See how I'm able to slide it in the track? So I slide it in the track. Meanwhile, I've got my hands at the very top holding onto it, and now I'm able to just kind of slide it in one edge. And you can see I'm running my hand up the side, and what will happen is that paper will slip right in that groove. Pretty easy. Now once I've kind of pulled it over, I go to the next side and I repeat the same process. So you see it kind of push it back so that you can pull it back in, and you want to start either top to bottom or bottom to top. It doesn't matter, but always go in one direction, whichever you decide, top to bottom or bottom to top, but commit once you do. And you can see how easy that was. It's in there now. So now that that's the case, and I'm going to press it down on those tape points that I had, that way it doesn't slide off anymore. Now I'm going to go about changing the signs out. Now to do that, we just peel it away, and this is where the painter's tape is important. Now you can see whoever did this last time used masking tape. Now the reason why that's not ideal is because the masking tape over time will stick so much that it will pull the paper off. So I just throw them on the ground as I'm working. Sometimes we'll be able to pull the tape off and reuse the signs for scrap paper, but we really don't reuse the signs because the information does tend to change just enough to where keeping an old sign doesn't work. So now that I have all my signs off, I'm ready to apply the fresh signs. Now we're going to start off at the top with Sunday, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and get me a few pieces. I really only need 2 pieces of tape. You don't need 4, that is 1 on each corner, because the signs will just hang there. In the summertime, however, you'll find that 4 pieces is sometimes best because in the heat, the gravity will just cause the low-tack tape to slip a little bit. So just to be safe, put a little bit on all 4 corners, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to center it this way and then up and down. So it's just right about there, nice and level. Now you would assume I would go right to Monday, but you don't want to do that. The reason for that is if you put Monday too high or too low, you could run out of room here. So I found it best to go from Sunday to Tuesday. Okay, so I have my pieces there. You can see it doesn't take long. Get a few pieces of tape going. Now, usually I'll have my tape kind of all ready. So what I want to do is kind of find my center, make sure that there's no exposed tape. I'm going to find my center, come down to about here, and there we go. Leave myself about a 1-inch gap there. Now what happens when I do Monday is I can evenly center this so there's a perfect gap between both of those, and that's the reason why you want to do the top and the bottom and then the center. So again, I'm ripping my tape, making some little marks. And find my center and my center there, and now I center those between, make sure the margin. You don't want to be overly fussy. I mean, if you step back and look at it and something's off or really bad, then go ahead and fix it, but don't be, nitpicky with it at the same time. So now I have my lens. I'm going to use my same little technique. I'm going to go down to the corner since I'm right-handed. Use my right foot, and I'm going to kind of use it to guide and slide it into the track. And once I do, I come up with my hand, and it goes right in there. Now I'm going to pull this out. So get a little close up over here, this corner. You can see I'm going to kind of tuck that in there. And once I've committed, I just go right up the side, and that's a nice little gentle slide. And we can step back and pan back. And you can see that it's done. It's ready for the next 10 weeks. Thanks so much. If you have questions, let me know.